The
What's the norm?
nothing.
Staring into the void, one would say.
Pragnananda is in the building, looking ready for action.
Yeah, so of course a lot of attention will be driven to this top three Indian talents, Gukesh, or should I say four, Erigasi, Pragnananda, and yeah, like I think it's...
Well, they're on the top three boards, so yeah, that
top three boards.
The obvious place to look. There we have Arjun. Cool, calm, and collected, as always. We've seen Anish Giri, and there is Gukesh. He has indeed arrived, according to Vichy. Probably took the flight yesterday from Chennai to Goa. And there he is. He's doing some smart stuff, meditating a bit before the game, collecting his thoughts. Maybe deciding E4, D4, C4, trying to visualize it.
He's too strong for one knight f3, I believe.
No, that's not happening. Need to push a pawn. Beautiful camera angle.
Yeah, and I believe it's his board where ceremonial first move will be made by Honorary Chief Minister of Goa.
Yeah, Dr. Pramod Savant, where is he? Kazibek Nogabek, who had some drama yesterday with some pieces flying around. His opponent was trying to move his rook somewhere to G1, H1, and then the rook flew off the board and the opponent lost on time. But he did make it to the meeting with Gukesh, and it looks like there we have the Honorable Chief Minister arriving. That's board 2. You need to get to board 1.
I believe he's greeting all the Indian players on top boards.
Anand also there, the FIDE Deputy President.
And, well,
here we are.
Still no information if it's E4 or D4.
Gukesh is still in the zone. Someone do something. Gukesh, say hi. There we are.
They didn't want to disturb him.
Yeah, he was still focusing, exactly.
This pawn to this square.
Vichy
Two
says,
squares.
whatever pawn you want, push it forward.
Both are good moves. And Vichy would know.
Is that allowed? Vichy is giving Gukesh advice on the first move?
And D4.
Well done.
So it's 3 p.m. here in Goa, local time, so I believe the round starts any second right now.
Yeah. Oh, Sorokina wanted to take the move back, but Gukesh is saying, no one touches my pieces but me and the Honorable Chief Minister.
Right, so I believe we will have today, it's kind of an interesting poll of the day. Well, not like the days before, of course. It was quite obvious. The answers were quite obvious. What is a sudden death game? Nobody knew. But today we are asking if there will be any upsets on top 10 boards.
What does upset mean? Oh, we said knight f3 is not possible. We were wrong yet again. But what does upset mean? Means a draw or someone has to win?
I guess someone has to win.
Someone has to win, no? We don't count draws as
we don't count draws.
At this level.
And it was a beautiful picture because I have a layout with all top 12 boards, and on top 4, board 5 to 8, second row of the boards, E4 happened simultaneously.
Gotta, best by test. By Gukesh, kidding aside, of course, he's become incredibly flexible, preparing for this World Championship match, submitting Ding to all kinds of first moves, and it makes him so much stronger, so much harder to prepare for. They can start with E4, D4, C4, one knight f3. And here he goes, knight to f3, which he also used, versus Ding to get some very good positions. Pawn to D5, pawn to C4. And it did look like Kazibek Nogabek wanted none of it, decided to play solid with E6. We'll get to the action in a minute, but here we get the Faustikam, Vidit, popular tire specialist in India, I've been told, there with white, trying to decide Italian, Spanish, Scotch.
4 knights. Well, there are options. And we've been advised, since the number of players somewhat reduced, and now it's, well, actually is a power of 2.
I did the math, 128 players.
Yeah, we can talk about the format. What does it mean? Yeah, on the upper half of the screen that we have round 2, game 1. What is it? What is the system? What is the time control? And so on and so forth. So now I believe we can, yeah, that's very usual for us to start with 128 players. So that is how World Cups used to be until recent. So 128, and each round we divide it in half. Each match consists of 2 classical games, if you've missed the entire commentary on round 1. And then on day 3 of the round, we will have the tiebreaks.
Basically, it's always 3 days. Round 2 consists of 3 days. Then we will go to round 3 with 64 players. Then round 4 with 32 players. Round 5 with 16 players. Round 6 with 8 players. Round 7 with me, having lost my mind after too much time in beautiful Goa. You get the idea. So today is a classical game. Tomorrow is a classical game. If the score is 1-1, then they go to tiebreak. What does classical game mean? What's the time control? How much time do they have?
90 minutes, or as some people say, 1 hour and 30 minutes for the first 40 moves. Plus 30, half an hour, 30 minutes added to their clock after move 40 with 30 seconds increment per move. Rapid and Blitz, we will discuss later, but basically you can see on your screen 2 types of Rapid, and if the score is still equal, and this is, we are talking tiebreak day, then 2 types of Blitz before they get to this sudden death game,
That's
which nobody knows.
Day after tomorrow. Today and tomorrow it's classical. Yeah, 30 seconds increment means the player makes a move, he gets 30 seconds added to his clock. Which I don't like. I think it's fine for after move 60, wherever for the end game. But on the way to move 40, give them 90 minutes or whatever, 2 hours to reach move 40. Let them use their time as they want. We want drama. We want time. Pieces flying around. We want somebody having 10 seconds to make 10 moves. But
like good old days.
harder to monitor. They have that at the World Championship matches, but here they get 30 seconds per move from day 1, from game move 1.
Okay.
So Gukesh is playing whatever they call this, the Reti, the something.
Yeah, well...
He had this against Ding.
Yeah, sort of a...
Ding went here, and they got some sharp stuff.
Yep. So E6, was it? What was it? Delayed Catalan, some people call it like Catalan without D4, this or that.
I have to say, I understand the theory, and he does it, Kazibek, Nogabek, that is, for repertoire reasons, I guess. But if you're going to play pawn to D4, now is the time where you haven't moved your E-pawn yet, and you can go knight c6, e5, or f6, e5, or even c5. Well, I see this often. People play e6, g3, knight f6, bishop g2.
And then d4.
Now their repertoire is d4, because whatever, it's the best move. I mean, other moves here, bishop e7, dc4, and so on. But to play d4 now, it's somewhat inconsistent to me. I mean, it's a good move, nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, but you feel like...
push it directly.
You feel like it's very often nowadays, people try to get positions with colors reversed, right? And then you get some type of a Benoni structure with colors reversed, plus you potentially lose a tempo because, you will have to support your center with e6, e5.
Yeah. No, I guess he's just scared of the Gukesh homework here. But this at least gives white some grounds for playing. Even though it has to be said, this is a perfectly good line. Knight to c6, preparing e5 potentially. Pawn to d3, bishop c5,
knight d2.
Oh, this is all theory. Here, black has a choice between castles and pawn to a5.
To keep the bishop on that diagonal. Yeah,
also anticipating knight coming here.
Yeah.
So you can kick it. Castle, knight b3, bishop back, and here, as far as I know, the main move used to be pawn to e3, challenging in the center directly. When black is supposed to take, bishop takes, and there's some theory here, knight g4, bishop c5, A5, and stuff
So on and
continues.
so forth.
This was played in Omnishi Carlsen, for example, in their World Championship match. But Gukesh, who of course studied his predecessors, has a new idea ready. He plays pawn to h3, covering this square.
So to go e3 to capture with the bishop and not to worry about knight g4.
Exactly. So you're not bothered there. I'm not sure if Kazibek, Nogebek, if you're playing Gukesh, you're expecting one e4, one d4, one c4. Not sure how much time you spent on one knight f3, d5, c4. If you anticipated this turn of events, he will probably start taking a bit of time here.
Yeah, which allows us to move on. But yeah, say on board 2, Martin Petrov against Arjun Erigaisi. Nothing to talk about just yet. It's quite calm Italian.
Yeah, Petrov, big Italian specialist, pretty much plays Italian.
And then
His whole life, every game, after e4, e5, the Bulgarian. So yeah, not much to see here yet.
yeah, on board 3, Prague has the closed Catalan position against Timur Kuibokarov. Also, nothing new here just yet.
Nope.
A lot of game. But on board 4, Anish Giri.
Anish always
to face.
fire on the Giri board. This time, it is Bojan Maksimovic who's doing the nasty 2 bishop g5, Trompovsky. Not seen much nowadays, mainly because black is considered very fine after
d7,
d5.
Yeah.
But Anish decided to mix it a little bit, and my best guess is that Maksimovic, it's not his first time playing Trompovsky. Giri's preparation is typically thorough and nasty, so Anish was looking for a way to spice it up ASAP.
So c5 and
Yeah, some moves here, bishop f6 or d5 being the main ones.
yeah, so bishop takes, pawn takes, d5, queen b6, queen to c1, and an immediate f5.
Yeah, this is all still known. In the old days, there were lines like here, 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 here.
Queen f4, yeah, I remember this. Yeah, queen b2 and
Here.
knight e2 and knight c3, right?
Yeah, which is quite dangerous for black, but I'm pretty sure Anish will be aware of that. And of course, black is not forced to play like this. He can just play quote-unquote normal. d6, knight d7, knight f6, bishop g7. Black has a slightly funny structure with these double pawns, but he does have the 2 bishops. And he will have checked this thoroughly. While if you're a Trompovsky player and you get this position, you really should not be in deep agony right now. You did this. You chose a Trompovsky.
Yeah, that's true. That's surprising to see a player who played Trompovsky to think in this position after 5 minutes.
What did I do? Maybe g3.
Yeah, so he did go g3, which is even, I believe, an older attempt to go to play this position. So you're supporting the d5 pawn with the pieces. Then after bishop g7, I guess you just play c3?
Yeah, you want c3, bishop here, knight here, potentially here. The other knight often also goes to the rim and is hoping to jump into h5.
Yeah.
But of course, black is allowed to make moves in between as well. I vaguely recall some nonsense like queen here, which looks funny.
Queen h6.
Don't ask me why. I think I've seen this queen maneuver and then play with the queen here. We will see. Anish normally can be relied on, having checked all the options, but g3, not the main move, so he's taking a moment there. The man from The Hague, Netherlands. And we will let him think. Go to the man from Minnetonka, USA. He no longer lives in Minnetonka, but I think it's fun to say.
Yeah, that's a lovely name for a town.
Yeah.
Wesley Saw against Stemavicius.
Stravicius, I think it's not the first time he's playing this line, this what do they call this? The Putian French or?
Yeah, it's not like it wasn't played before Putian, but bishop a5, kind of a Putian variation, right? And that where the main, or rather, I don't know, the main move I knew was b4.
Yeah, this at some point it was a big discovery, because your point was if they take now I will take and break all the pawns. But then white players discovered you can sacrifice this pawn to b4, c takes b, and knight b5, sacrificing a pawn, but the knight can go here. However, turned out things aren't that easy, because after b4, black goes c takes d, and modern theory is focused on these positions, knight b5 here, queen g4 directly, and I believe that's what Western chose.
Speaking of queen g4 directly, he went queen g4 without b2, b4.
Yeah.
Queen g4, knight to e7.
Yeah, this is still theory now. You can take on c5 or on g7. It's going to be a mess. Stravicius, of course, will be an expert here. But if you do this regularly and you play it against a guy like Wesley So, who always does his homework, this is very risky.
Yeah, dc5.
It's not like you're playing e4, e5, the Berlin, and you have a solid position here, you're saying, okay.
Yeah, and I imagine these lines are kind of objectively sound, but the margins are quite narrow.
Sure, they're sound, but there's more room to ask a question compared to Berlin Petrov, the usual stuff. But of course, many of the players around 2550, like Stravicius, they're also not playing 2750 all the time, where you need a solid repertoire, but they're playing opens where you need to win games. So it's very natural to have such openings as his main weapon. Let's see if it holds against Wesley So. Let's get to Mr. Keymer against Vladislav Kovalyov. e4, e5, no surprises there, the Italian. But now Kovalyov, who likes these Italian sidelines,
d4.
Goes d4, e takes d, and e5. Keymer had this position recently. He went d5, bishop b5, knight d7 in that game. And it was this funny line, castles, bishop e7, takes, knight takes d4,
knight b8.
Back to b8. But he got a slightly worse position against Teodoro. Probably didn't feel like repeating. And here he goes for the move knight to e4, which I always thought was a good move. Jumping to the center, you reserve the right to play pawn to d5 if white does nothing. So that's also the curse of being a top player. You have to constantly learn new lines to be unpredictable. Even within e4, e5, opponent plays a side line. I don't want to repeat the stuff I just did.
Yeah.
So let's do a different move. Here we are.
So castles short and bishop to e7.
Castle short should be mentioned, not the main move. The main move is queen to e2. The point being that now black cannot go pawn to d5 because white takes, and you're not in time.
So you drop the knight to c5 then, and
you go here, and now theory continues. You go c3 or
now queen e2. You can play d5.
Sorry, opening nerding out here.
So what's the point for white then? Does he go bishop d5, because this is one way of stopping d5 from black?
Frankly, I'm not sure what he's doing, because he's also in deep thought now. And once again, he chose the line. You chose the d4, e takes d, e5, somewhat sideline, where knight e4 is the first move of the computer and has been for a while. So I'm not sure what he's up to. I guess he will show us. But yeah, you can sacrifice a pawn with bishop d5, knight c5, c3, takes, play this position. I've seen someone do this recently, maybe Nihal, but it's not supposed to be that good.
Yeah, I believe in all of those lines, like you kind of sacrifice the pawn with a threat to win it back.
Yeah, very much. Yes, you might equalize with your activity, but black will never be too big trouble. All right, Kovalyov. Not to be confused with Anton Kovalyov of Bermuda Short fame and from Canada. Yeah, this is a different Kovalyov.
Speaking of Italian Giocopianos, we have one right next to this board in Veii against Björn Kasper game.
Veii, another big Italian specialist, the Chinese top player. Nadia. Call us when there's more action.
Yeah, but 4d6 I thought was like almost a surprise, but they probably play it nowadays as well. Yeah.
I'm never totally sure what they're afraid of. Could be either you want to avoid knight of 6 d4, but Veii usually doesn't play that, and then there's some theory here. Well, after d6 d4, typically your idea would be to
just go bishop b6 and play this one.
Although I'm not 100% sure. So now there's d takes e5. I've seen some crazy gambits like bishop g4 here, but it's certainly a rare move order, and it's also why Veii is thinking. You can go d6 first if white goes d3, but if he announced this...
Yeah, usually knight f6 is your main move, right?
Yeah. There we see. Veii has played d4, saying, show me the money.
Yeah.
Kasper Björn will have to explain to us what he's been doing. There he comes. Former problem-solving world champion. But that's a slightly different skill set. Pawn to d4, and he has some problems to solve. He does take on d4, indicating that he did prepare this. Try to
stop them.
Stronghold in the center. Don't allow them to get the perfect pawn center.
Yeah, precisely.
It's never that simple with top players.
That's quite interesting, though, right? Because some people say, like, in order to solve a problem or a study on the board, first you have to create a study-like position. So maybe he chose this.
It's like in order to catch a serial killer, you have to become a serial killer.
You have to think like serial.
Okay. I misunderstood. I've gone too far. So bishop b6 played.
Bishop b6.
Question is also, is Veii in book? Does Veii know this? Looks like he's thinking. It's not easy to surprise an Italian specialist like Veii like this, so maybe at least that objective has been accomplished.
Yeah,
for Kasper Björn.
And say h3, knight f6, knight to c3, black castles. And I guess if white does so, you take on e4, right? Yeah. Not sure how good is it, but there are games. Yeah, knight e4.
d4. Can play whatever. d3, a4 to keep it more typical Giocopiano. But good stuff from Kasper Björn. Learned something already.
Yeah. Okay. So that was what? That was our board 7. Board 8 we have Pure London from Denis Makhnev against Nodibek Abdusattorov.
A lot of Nordibeks in this tournament. We have Nordibek Apostotorov, we have Nordibek Yakuboyev, and of course, we have Kazibek Nogabek, who's not from Uzbekistan, but
From Kazakhstan.
to my mind, he's part of the
Nogibek family.
the Beck family, at least.
The Beck family.
Nogabek and the Nordibeks. So, yeah, what's going on here?
Board 8, yeah.
Maybe 2 bishop g4, one of the main moves.
C3, 6, bishop to b5, c takes d4. So,
Let's know what they're doing.
yet another Carlsbad is, reversed Carlsbad, that is.
Normally they play e takes d, bishop d6, and then white has to do some soul searching. What structure he wants. If he wants to take here, go bishop g3. Normally they take the castle, and then you could have a debate if this is equal or slightly better for white. Depends who you ask.
Yeah, I've seen Magnus playing this type of positions
Magnus
with great
knows this stuff.
success.
Yeah.
It's great success.
Any Carlsbad, he's happy. Okay, we'll continue our tour through our quote-unquote TV boards. We have cameras on the first 12. Then we'll check in with Fausti. Then we need to be told which game is interesting.
Yeah. For now, we move to board 9. Mamediyarov against Gergely Kanter.
There's a funny line. Queen b3 looks silly, but stops black from going d5. If black can't play d5, you could argue the knight on c6 is a bit silly as well. So you give up a lot, moving the queen out, stopping this, but you also gain something.
Knight
a5, Kanter, good theoretician as far as I know. By a different move order where white can play pawn to b4, it gets very interesting.
A pawn to b4, but you cannot play d4 here, no.
No, in this version I think d4 was less good. Some knight e4 probably.
Yeah.
Knight e4, queen somewhere and takes. But b4 was very interesting. Of course, computer says 0-0 no matter what, but this was very messy. So let's see what is going to happen. Queen to e7 played, and now Mamediyarov has the option to push the pawn. He doesn't have to, he can play bishop e2 or whatnot.
b3, b4, d3, bishop e2 were tried in this position.
Yeah. No, I know this stuff, because you normally get it from the quote-unquote normal move order, which is this. Takes queen e7, which we talked about I think yesterday, a3. Here the main move is d5, but if black plays a5, we magically arrive at the position from our game. All right. Hans Niemann, what is this position?
2 knights defense with knight g5.
Yes.
Which strangely gotten quite popular recently, thanks to Gustafsson variation, queen f3.
Yeah, but I was giving queen f3 here to confuse people. Bishop d3 has been the main line for a while. This was recommended by Wesley. I think Wesley is a bit to blame for making this popular. Wesley had a course, and people have just discovered, okay, it's a forcing line. I can ask some questions if my opponent is not prepared. White is not worse, so might as well.
So knight d5 is correct.
Knight d5
I remember well. Knight. Were there knight e4 attempts, or it's not here? No,
the
it's
point
not
is
here.
bishop d3. If h6, then you go knight to e4.
Ah, right.
But after knight to d5, knight e4 is too slow.
Yeah. You just gets into f5. Yeah.
So that's why you play knight d5, and now the knight has to go back here. Bishop d6, castles. Now black faces a big choice. Castles is one line. I like this stuff. Gets very, very messy as well. But the more sane way to play is after castles to play knight f4, then grab this bishop, and you get positional compensation for the missing pawn.
Yeah, knight takes d3, castles, rook e1, c5, b3. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all mainline theory. You'll find a million correspondence games here. One fun line is, because of course, the first thing I always check is, what happens if they take my pawn? The good news is, we're active enough to make a draw with stuff like this.
Aha, bishop h2, and the check on h4, king g1, and bishop g4, or?
Yes, sorry, I'm just showing off very
where one mistake can send you home. This is the 2025 FIDE World Cup. From October 30th to November the 27th, the chess world gathers in Goa, India for 1 month of chess. 206 players, 8 single elimination rounds. With a $2 million prize fund, every round is a test of nerve. 2-game classical matches, rapid and blitz tiebreaks, and even Armageddon if needed. For the top 3 finishers, the prize is even greater. A ticket to the 2026 Candidates Tournament. This is the chance to earn the right to fight for the World Championship. The FIDE World Cup 2025. Only the strongest will survive.
Goa, an adventure paradise like none other. From lush forests to rugged hills, from pristine ocean beach stretches to stunning lakes, there is something to explore in every corner of the state. And some adventures are wilder than others. Watch postcards from Goa on National Geographic.
The most prestigious tournament in chess has come to India, the home of chess.
चेस खेल ये हमारा है, आओ दुनिया वालों ये वेलकम तुम्हारा है। अपना गेम भारी है, हैंडशेक की बारी है, अब इंडिया बोलेगा। It's your move, it's your move, गोवा कर रहा है वेट। It's your move, come don't be late। It's your move, it's the boy code।
शतरंग के हरे रंग सदियों से है अपने संग, शतरंज बिछता है हर आंगन, विश्व को दिया हमने विश्वनाथन।
डंका बजा है गोवा सजा है, खेल जमेगा खूब। It's your move, हो न जाए चेकमेट। It's your move, ट्रैक में भी होगा जस्ट। It's your move, गोवा कर रहा है वेट। It's your move, come don't be late। It's your move, it's तो दो। It's your move, 1 2 ढाई। It's your move, it's your move, it's your move, it's your move, it's your move।
The FIDE World Cup 2025, starting from 31st October to 27th November in Goa, India.
It's your move। Oh my God, I'm just playing with them now, yeah. Oh my God, what she saying, say it loud, yeah. I can't respect it, I'm in the gym, but I am not flexing. Came from
the woodpecker method, because practice makes perfect. December, the world turns to Doha, Qatar for chess at its fastest and fiercest. The 2025 FIDE World Rapid and Blitz Championships bring the globe's elite to battle under lightning time controls. December 26th to December 30th, Rapid and Blitz formats designed to reward precision, courage, and creativity. In the heart of the Middle East, Doha offers more than a board, a world-class venue, a cultural backdrop, and a stage worthy of legends. With a €1 million prize fund on the line and the title of world champion at stake, The 2025 FIDE World Rapid and Blitz Championships, the ultimate test of fast chess.
Move by move, the world changed. City by city, the league grew. United Arab Emirates, United Kingdom. Now, the pieces take position again, this time in India. Not just another move, the mega move. Tech Mahindra Global Chess League Season 3. December 13 to December 24, 2025.
Knight f3. Welcome back, everybody. Round 2 of the FIDE World Cup. All the big guns are in action. They've completed their first hour of chess. Let's have a quick look at the pairings to see all these big names you have.
So, question. Where is Gukesh? Is answered. Gukesh is here, even though not the highest rated. The world champion is playing on board number 1, table number 1.
Yeah, Gukesh is facing Kazibek Nogabek on the top board, joined by his 2 compatriots Arjun Erigaisi and Pragnanda on boards 2 and 3, before it gets a little more international with Anish Giri from the Netherlands on 4, Wesley So, the American, on 5, and Germany's own Vincent Keymer, board number 6, Wei Yi representing China, Nuribek Abdusatorov representing Uzbekistan. So chess has become very international, but there's a slight trend that we have 3 Indian players on the top 3 boards. It's not a coincidence.
Yeah, so it became very international and quite Asian in recent years, like recent Olympiad winners being Uzbekistan, India. Yeah, a lot of young players from India and a lot of like very strong young players from Uzbekistan as well.
Yeah,
maybe
nowadays
not as
if you play an open tournament, you're never happy to face a young Indian, but a young Uzbek you're even unhappier about.
Yeah.
There we see Jan Nepomniachtchi. But I want to go to one game where I'm afraid we don't have cameras, but it's sort of a fun position. It's Richard Rapport from Hungary, who's also, of course, a very top player, rated 2740, played in the candidates tournament, and he's facing
Recording in progress.
Supi from Brazil. But I'm afraid Supi's position is not so soupy. This is
board 14, if I'm not mistaken.
14,
yeah,
just away from our camera boards. But what is going on here, Miro?
It was a... Hang on, it was a Sicilian Najdov? Oh, no, it wasn't a Najdov.
Or whatever you call it. So
on A2, Queen C7, G4, and it was answered with D5. ED5, and this is why you never put the pawn on A3, because it gets taken.
Also, maybe what you shouldn't do is put the bishop on A2. Is not retreating. No. E4,
Well,
something went wrong here.
Yeah, very early on, because your pawn is hanging. If you were to D4 and seems that everything's collapsing, Rook E8, right?
This is coming.
That you have to refresh your Kabul Kids page, okay? Again, in the Kabul Kids page. Now I can see you. Rihan, you can also refresh your Kabul Kids page. Rihan report. Let's refresh your Kabul Kids page once. I think you're not logged in, so just log in the Kabul Kids page. Vihan, are you there? Are you able to log in the complex page? Vihan, you can unmute. Okay, Vihan, okay, you're just typing, all right. It's loading, all right. Hemanthan is there.